Continuing on with right speech. So the last time we spoke about being kind with our speech, being very careful of our words, not to lie or gossip, but also trying not to be clever or boastful. We want to make our words less harsh, especially in times like these, right? Because everybody's on edge, everybody's feeling a little weird. This is unusual at best. That's the description for it. So we want people to feel like they can talk without being jumped on or corrected or not believed. And that brings us to deep listening. So when we think about the Eightfold Path or the 5 precepts, we're not only talking about things that we shouldn't do, thou shalt not, for example. We're talking about things that we should do, that things that we should go maybe above and beyond. We'll use speech, for example. We should avoid lying. That's true. Avoid lying. But if we were going to go above and beyond, we would try to be impeccable with our speech. We would tell the truth almost all the time. And that's different than thou shalt not lie, or don't lie, or you shouldn't lie. That's an affirmative action. That's a place that we can go. We can go from the speech that we do today to a place where we never or almost never lie. And when we do lie, we have a really good reason for it. And it's one that we can explain to someone in a very few words. Because when you're trying to explain anything and it goes around and around and around, it's probably something you should reconsider. So deep listening, or as another way we put it is compassionate listening, is about how we can take right speech to the affirmative level, to the place where even if I am not speaking because there is nothing I can contribute to this, I can listen in a way that makes the speaker feel heard and feel like what they're saying is important. Because it is. Ultimately, we are sharing this world with people. And the point is not to be right. The point is not to be on top. The point is to be kind and to allow everyone a chance to be their best self. If only in your presence, if only when they speak to you, can they be their best self. If you can do that for someone else, it is one of the greatest gifts you can give anyone. Children love this. Children love to be heard. So I remember when this kid he's actually, I think he just graduated college, but when I was studying Buddhism, he lived across the street. His name was Charantha. And he was telling me about a Scooby-Doo movie. And he told me just the overview. And anybody who's ever spoken to a kid about a movie that they like know that if you are willing to sit there, they are willing to tell you everything that happened. Now I was working on right speech. I was working on deep listening. I was working on compassionate listening anyway. And I love this kid. So there's that. And, truth be told, I'm a little crazy about Scooby-Doo. So, it was great. It was great. So we were talking and he was talking. I was simply practicing this listening technique. And an hour later, he's still telling me the movie. It almost took him as long to tell the movie as the movie ran. And it's one of my greatest memories with that kid. When I tell him about it, he kind of gets embarrassed by it because he thinks that I still think of him as that little kid. And in a lot of ways I do, but in some very important ways I don't. That's a shout out to Charantha. Hi, Charantha, wherever you are. But yeah, that's deep listening. Deep listening is allowing the person who is speaking to you to speak to you in a way that they feel heard, they feel respected, and they feel believed. So here's a few techniques. When we're doing deep listening or compassionate listening, the We do not dispute the facts. This is Desmond Tutu's way of explaining deep listening. This is what they did when for the reconciliation in South Africa. Do not dispute the facts. Regardless of what you know, let these people speak. 2, do not cross-examine. Do not ask them questions about what they're saying as if you don't believe them or as if they're trying to hide something. Let them speak. 3, let them feel safe. Make them feel safe. Look them in the eye. Nod. Give them clues as to you are with them, you are listening to them, you want them to continue. Acknowledge the truth of their experience. Regardless of what you feel about it, whether it's factual, whether you know something that they don't know, or mathematically that couldn't have happened or whatever, acknowledge the truth of their experience. Because truth and facts are not the same. They're not. People's truth is something that they believe happened to them or to someone they know very closely. Facts are things that we can read in books, nonfiction books, and we can pull out and beat people over the head with, quite frankly. We're not interested in facts with deep and compassionate listening. We're interested in making the person feel heard and respected, believed, and that what they say at this moment is truth. 5, as you listen, see if you can develop an empathy for the person. If this is a person that you don't like, or is a person that you're in a fight with, a person you don't like right now, because most of the people in our house we like most of the time, but in the moment sometimes we don't like them. If this is that, try to feel an empathy for the person. When it's children, it's quite easy. They're going to do something cute. They're going to do something funny. They're going to say something that is going to make you. But when it's adults, sometimes we can feel it right here in our jaws, where we have decided that we're not going to be kind to this person, or we're not going to believe this person, or we're not going to be empathetic to this person because of something that happened. I get it back here. Some people get it in their spines. During meditation, you can find out where anger really lives. The mind lives here and here. 6, and this is one that almost all of us can learn. Don't be trying to think about what you want to say while someone else is speaking. It's hard, but it's important. When someone else is speaking, when you are doing deep, compassionate listening, when you are right there with them, be there with them. Don't think of, even if it's something kind, I wonder how I can say this to them in a kind, loving, I got to go through the 3 to 4 gates, and is this going to go through all of, don't do that. Let them finish. And then here's something that a lot of us don't take advantage of. Once they're done, sit with what they said for seconds, even up to a minute, and then answer them if there was a question, if there was something that needs to be said. Give it time. Let it wash over you. But listen to them at the moment. Please. Please. Deep, compassionate listening. Right speech.